The next presentation is we are moving back, number 32, analysis of the relationship between semantic parameters in the development of the security function of access system by Anatoly Davidenko, Alexander Kochenko, Mikhailo Gara, Lena Petotska, and Vladimir Sherbina. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Access control system attracts attention that to the priority. Добре. You hear me? Sorry, technical little moment. I'm offline, and for this reason we have some little problem. Mostly of us we are online. And maybe I start from the beginning. Access control system attract attention there to the priority during contact with the information system and the critically of failure during its operation. Therefore, it is an important typical subsystem of any information system. Developer of new information system always faces a dilemma. Enter developing with subsystem from start or adapting an already really made solution. Maybe it is understandable for all of us what when we used some mechanism of defending system to when our choice is really good if we used old ready-made solution. But we have some problem. We have some critical condition in which we must solve. We must solve some problem about dictionary of new system, and we must do something with this dictionary. We must have new style of programming, and for this reason we do some definition of semantic variables, and we formalization this process, and you can read way of me in this abstract. Last of when this is my doctor dissertation. You can read it in National Aviation University. And first is 10 years ago, but if you want to do something with access control system, we can speak with you about this. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. And any questions, comments? Okay, thank you. Let's move to the next presentation. It's number 15. Evaluating transformer-based architectures for fault detection using accelerometer sensor data by Ivan Ursul and Andriy Peremil-Vida. Please go ahead.
Hey everyone, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Great. So good afternoon everyone. My name is Ivan Ursul. and I'm from the Faculty of Applied Mathematics and Informatics at Conf National University. Today, I decided to share with you our work on developing a real-time fault detection system using transformers model, and which is optimized for deployment of a customized system on chip. So this work was done together with Andrei Paramidida, and I will present it today. As our global population ages, the need for the effective healthcare solutions becomes increasingly urgent. Faults are one of the leading causes of injury among the elderly and at-risk individuals. Traditional systems designed to detect faults often struggle with high latency, consume excessive power, and lack adaptability to different environments and use. Transformers have revolutionized various fields by effectively capturing temporal dependencies in data. They have shown great promise in tasks that require sequential modeling. The problem is that standard transformers are computationally intensive. They pose challenges for deployment on embedded systems with limited resources. So what is the approach? So our goal is to develop a transformer-based fault detection system that is optimized for SOC platform, system on chip platform. We focus on achieving real-time performance, reducing power consumption, and maintaining a high accuracy. Implementing such a system could revolutionize healthcare monitoring, especially in elderly care and home settings. It sets a new benchmark for deploying machine learning models in embedded environments, potentially improving the quality of life for many individuals. So, with the literature review that we have done, like previous studies, they utilize accelerometers and gyroscopes. They have achieved high sensitivity, exceeding even 80%. The problem is that those systems are prone to false positives, and they often lack adaptability. They don't understand the temporal dynamics of the data that we are researching. It makes them less reliable in a variety of real-world scenarios. Moreover, they are inefficient in real-time embedded environments because of the constrained resources. The sensor-based approaches, like by extracting those special features, sensor-based approaches have improved accuracy to over 90%. So despite this improvement, they present challenges such as high computational demands, which restrict their deployment on SOC platforms. There are convolutional neural networks. They have been employed to capture temporal dependencies, reaching accuracy level of around 92%. However, their high latency makes them unsuitable for real-time application on embedded systems. Yes, there are also long short-term memory networks, LSTMs, which the advantages of them is that they are well suited for sequence modeling tasks, and they have shown the ability to capture temporal dependencies. So the accuracy is around 92% in fault detection tasks, according to the literature review. The problem is that they have limitation in terms of high latency, as the sequential nature of processing requires step-by-step computation. So this doesn't make them a good candidate for real-time world applications for such systems. So yes, there is a rise of transformer models, which emerged in 2017 by Attention is All You Need article published by one of Google employees. So the advantages is that transformer model, it offers significant benefits like parallel processing, the ability to capture long range dependencies, comparing to LSTM that gets more delusional as the number of data grows, as the sequence grows. This makes them highly effective for sequence modeling tasks like for fault detection. Yes, there are still challenges, and the primary challenge with transformers is their high computational intensity, which hinders their deployment on resource-constrained soft platforms. It's worth mentioning there are also alternative approaches. like discrete label transform, which is was implemented for signal data, and principal component analysis, which those alternative approaches they can achieve a real-time processing, but at the expense of accuracy, which stands about, the accuracy stands about 88.4%. There are also hybrid models combining convolutional neural networks and LSTMs. They have improved latency, but they still fall short in accuracy compared to transformers. There are also some hybrid models like CNN, and with a combination of clustering algorithms like K-nearest, and those solutions are deployed on a RISC-V sub-platform. They show an extremely high accuracy, levels of 99%. The problem is that they suffer from the significant latency, which exceeds 600 milliseconds. According to the literature review, there were efforts to deploy transformers on system-on-chip computers, and they resulted in 96.4 accuracy. They came with a cost of high latency of approximately 3 seconds per inference. So these insights or developments, they highlight the need for efficient transformer architectures on such platforms. So the proposed framework, the methodology that we took was, our objective is to achieve real-time fault detection using a transformer-based deep learning model, and this model has to be optimized for system-on-chip deployment. Stages that we took, first of all, was to data processing and noise filtering. So we wanted to clean and prepare sensor data for analysis. Then there was a feature extraction, to derive meaningful features that represent motion and orientation effectively. We tried different transformer architectures, different variations of transformer architecture. We did training and evaluation of those variations, and we ran those models we tried to run those models on a system-on-chip device, Raspberry Pi 02W. There is an accelerometer sensor, there is a barometer sensor, and with a battery, a voltage booster, and a bunch of buttons. Yes. A couple of words about data preprocessing. So first of all, in order to ensure data reliability, we applied, first of all, linear interpolation. We smoothed out short duration spikes in the raw sensor data to reduce random noise. We also applied a Butterworth low-pass filter with a cutoff frequency of 5 Hz to remove high-frequency noise while preserving motion-related frequency. We did the spike isolation. We used a threshold-based method to detect and expand potential fault events, ensuring that significant events are captured. We used magnitude to capture those spikes. Then we also, just for the record, we used sensor calibration so the adjusted accelerometer and gyroscope readings are using offsets that we calculated during the stationary period in order to correct any sensor biases. So then there was a feature extraction where the objective was our aim was to extract features that effectively represent the subject motion and orientation to distinguish between fault and normal activities. So we use the acceleration magnitude. It is calculated from the 3-axis accelerometer data to measure the overall movement intensity. As I previously mentioned, there was a Butterworth low-pass filter, and generally it resulted in a more smoother and more reliable data sequence modeling. We evaluated three transformer architectures. There was a standard time series transformer, the performer variation, and the lean former. These models are optimized for classifying accelerometer data as fault or non-fault events. They're designed specifically for real-time performance on embedded system on chip platform. We use the hyperparameter functional tuning exercise to find proper input parameters for each model. And the key components of this setup is that there are 4 channels of data, which is the accelerometer data for 3 axes and the acceleration magnitude. The data is 0 padded to 800 time steps to maintain the consistent input length. So we have the, I'm sure it's mentioned, but we have a 100 Hertz frequency, which means that we collect data every 8 seconds. So there is also an input embedding layer, which converts the 4-dimensional input into a 128-dimensional representation, enhancing the model's ability to detect complex patterns. There's also a positional encoding, which is a standard part of any transformer model, which adds a sequence order information using sine and cosine functions, preserving temporal dependencies within the data. So these components enable efficient temporal feature learning, which is critical for robust real-time fault detection on system-on-chip devices. We evaluated 3 models, as it was mentioned before: the performer, the informer, and the time series transformer. With 4 attention heads, regarding the performer, with 4 attention heads, 1 layer, and a hidden dimension of 8, this model is optimized for memory constraints and real-time efficiency. A low drop-out rate of 0.0068 and a learning rate help it balance accuracy with computational efficiency, making it suitable for handling long frequencies. The reason why performer model is mentioned first is because it is actually used on the real-world device, was considered to be the most efficient one. Then there's also an informer model with 4 attention heads, 2 layers, and hidden dimension of 4. It uses a slightly higher dropout rate of 0.193 and a learning rate of 0.00088. Its batch size of 34 allows it to handle larger sequences efficiently by reducing memory usage to a low-rank approximation. You can also see it the same, so I don't go through numbers. For time series transformer, it makes sense to mention that it is common across all models that we utilize self-attention mechanism to capture temporal dependencies, which is the core of transformer models. It also includes a standard feed-forward networks for modeling nonlinear patterns and employ global pooling with softmax layer to classify false versus non-false events. So we have a binary classification task. Let's go next. A couple of words about data. So it is a data that we collected over 4 months period, starting from June 3rd. It resulted in a comprehensive data set of 20 gigabytes, which consists of multi-model data. The reason it has such a large size is because it has a video and sensor data. Even though we only use sensor data, we leave some space for future researchers to also employ this data and maybe try video-based transformer models or other models. Just try it out. There were 29 individuals, both male and female. Their age ranged from 19 to 42 years, and we included participants with varied body dynamics for the sake of enhancing the data set generalizability and have diverse data. We have 995 events, including directional falls, stumbling, and falling from the height. It makes sense to mention that it was done under control in a controlled environment, just to preserve safety and to not let anyone get any injury. So there are also activities of daily living, around 1K events, which we generated just for the sake of having normal data you can train. This is the actual device. It has a custom 3D printed box. You can see the Raspberry Pi soft then the buzzer, bunch of buttons, and if you look closer, you will also see the actual accelerometer, which is deployed on the side box, on the side panel of the box. Why Raspberry Pi Zero? Because it is optimized for compactness and real-time processing.
Please speed up, you have almost no time left.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. So generally it's a device that we have. As I said, it has this sampling rate of 100 Hz. And then, as we have only around 1K events, we employed 202 non-fault events and 201 fault events. We tested our model from the process dataset to ensure reliable classification between fault and non-fault events. The results, like comparative summary, just because I'm running out of time, I want to mention that the most efficient in terms of memory size, model size, is Linformer. It occupies the smallest space, but it is not the fastest one. The fastest one appears to be Performer, which has a latency of only 34 milliseconds. On the right, you can also see some comparative data for different works for the last couple of years. Yes. And conclusion. So our research demonstrates that transformers, when appropriately optimized, are highly effective for real-time fault detection on resource-limited resources. It is worth mentioning that we contributed a data set to the science community. So this data set can later be used by other scientists. We tried different models, achieved results. Performer model appeared to be the best one that can be deployed on the Raspberry Pi device. In the future direction, we want to go with latency and energy efficiency, seeking the improvement in those areas. Even though 34 milliseconds is good enough for such setup, there is still some space for improvements. Also, as top technology evolves, we plan to leverage this advancement to deploy more powerful deep learning models. In conclusion, transformer-based architectures, especially the Performer, offer a reliable and scalable solution for real-time monitoring in embedded systems. This work has the potential to significantly impact healthcare monitoring and improve the quality of life for many individuals. Thanks for listening. Any questions?
Thank you. Any questions, comments? Thank you. Let's move to the next presentation. Methods for analyzing the connection between the regional population and the social network narrative under of the information operation by Yulia Tkach, Anatoly Shyan, Sergey Semendyaev, Vasylenko Vladislav, and Igor Lyuba. Please go ahead.
Good day, dear colleagues. I am Anatoly Shyan. This is our presentation. You see the presentation?
Yes, we can see, but if you switch to full screen mode, it will be better.
Yeah, just a moment.
Slideshow mode.
This?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, super.
All right. Presentation is a method for analyzing the connection between the regional population and social network narratives under the information operation. Monitoring of the social condition of the region, where the operation will be conducted, is crucial information for preparation and conduct of information operation. It should be noted that social sociological survey, and other methods is identifying the nodes of population at the region may not correspond to reality. For example, due to the inadequacy of sociological service. Only the main goals may be with first the population can self-censor and taking into account that answers are expected from them by the authorities and other structures on which they depend. Secondly, conducting survey and processing received data requires sufficient long time. Thirdly, there may be difficulties in the transition from research question to questionnaire. Or for a number of tasks, it is necessary to use the tangential question, and therefore often the answer of the respondents will be a probabilistic nature. Finally, the sample size, as a rule, will often not exceed 2,000 responses, which might not provide an opportunity to detect differences between sociological groups. Today, information operations are carried out either only through by the internet or with the involvement of it at a certain stage. As a result, there are great difficulties both detecting and predicting information operation and in protecting against them. Identification and forecasting of information operation requires the complex use of an interdisciplinary set of methods, and in such area as information technology, economics, sociology, and etc. An important component of information operation is their regional dimension. Therefore, the problem on researching the connections between the territory location of social network participants and the narratives they becomes an important element and must be taken into account when conducting information operations. The purpose of the investigation is to develop the methods for analyzing the connection of the geographical location of a given social group and the population of a given region with a given social network, taking into account the narrative recorded in the framework of the test.
Sorry, Anatoly, we still have a first slide introduction on the screen.
I am so sorry.
If you can just, talk
yes,
your own words, because we can read the whole text.
I'm so sorry.
This is not standard.
I involved the process of
in presentation. Tomorrow, of text. This is normal. Text.
About methodology. Methodology concerns into two scenarios. The first scenario is characterized by the interest in the activity of certain social group at the region in social network, because threshold to territory social group two narratives would exist in the social network. The second scenario is opposite direction from the asset of narratives in social network can be threshold to the geographical location, the people as a person which operate this narrative. Note that this research does not consist the special features of information operation at the regional level. Here, attention is focused only on those conditions that are decisive for the implementation of an arbitrary information operation at regional level. Next stage is the method one. Let the database M on the population of subject from the social group we are interested in be given. Consider an arbitrary representative in this group as ME. This representative is representative or person can be characterized by the tools TG available to him to entering the considering social networks. Networks SK. This can be identifiers of this computer gadget, etc., which make up the technical component of the support for realization of this person as account in the social network. Thus, each ME can be characterized by a set of its account, because one person can several different accounts. Next, the selected database of social networks S and the database SG0 necessary for consideration of subgroup in our investigation, because we consider the special group the separate group as SGJ exists in the local local population. Today, each social network is divided into subgroup according SP according to different characteristics. For example, it can be a set of friends of a certain account, subscribers to its posts, thematic group, commentators, etc. In this stage, we will get a set of M narratives that belong to social group at the territory. Territory, we this set of narratives N0 is a part of a set of narrative which we interested.
You have 3 minutes left, just make sure.
Oh, yeah. This process can be presented as a Formula 1. This is threshold to concrete person or a set of real person to the narratives or or presented by Formula 2 in the set of considered set. The algorithm can be described as presented in table 1. Start from concrete real, concrete person to the narrative, to the needed narrative from this person, considered narrative from this person, the narrative which we interested for us, and step by step for all people of the territory. Method 2 is opposite because we threshold from the narratives, separate narratives to the contrarian people which operate with this narrative. Discussion and conclusion: the obtained result do not require identification or personal data or data about person who express or support certain narrative. This is important result difference from the problem that are traditionally solved within the framework of the protection of safe security. The development methods are focused on obtaining statistical data which will be analyzed in the framework of existing or specially developed models. It is especially advisable to use the regional aspect to create echo chambers that will be focused on the peculiarity of the full function of the population. This method is possible to obtain, for example, an additional effect for the whole country. The use of the obtained result make it possible to carry out statistical verification for the model and approaches that form the basis of information warfare with the use of targeted information operations. Also, the obtained results will be useful in the process of development of information operation, allowing to make their adjustments already during their implementation. The fact that the application of the obtained result does not influence on the social group is very important, which is also an important advantage. Thank you for attention.
Thank you for your presentation. Any questions, any comments?
My question. My definition of narrative. How do you define it? Please provide an example.
The narrative we consider as the text or set of text in which the persons read this opinion about the event which is interesting for us in during of information operation.
Please provide an example.
Specific examples, like what kind of...
specific example. For example, in the local population can be exist the narrative about exist narrative about just a moment.
Not about example.
This will be example. For example, in a part of territory population speak into English, into Hungary or Romanian or Bulgari or is another language. And these people will for these people any narratives will which consist will which consider the use only one language will be very must attention and influence for this behavior. For example, у нас in Ukraine is the group of people which localized in their language, their Bulgarian language, in this distriction and other.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay, let's move to the next presentation, number 17, increasing the resistance of the Steganov system to attacks against an embedded message by selection of container blocks by Alva Kobuzeva, Ivan Bobov, Natalia Kushnerenko, and Sergei Sukhalsky. Welcome.
Good evening. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see. Just make it full screen so that we can see better. Okay, super.
Dear colleagues, I am pleased to present you our latest developments in the field of steganography. Steganography today is one of the most powerful and promising areas of information security, finding its application everywhere, from state-important areas of human activity to issues relating to individual citizens. This steganography process is a general case consists of several stages, one of which is the container selection, if it is possible. Since the selected container allows to meet the requirements for the received Stegano message to the greatest extent. In this paper, a digital images is considered as containers. There is no...
We still see the title, okay.
There is no consensus of what an ideal container should be, and it cannot be achieved since the priority requirements that are imposed for the Stegano message are also different for different conditions for its obtained and use. The paper considers the task of ensure one of the main requirements for the Stegano message, which is a resistance to attacks against an embedded message. The sensitivity of the Stegano message is understood as the sensitivity of the decoding task of additional information, which is the result of the recorder's work in a Stegano system and as a rule is represented as a binary sequence. The tasks of container selection is in the field of interest of many modern steganographers, but the main tasks of proposed methods are ensuring the resistance of the stegano system to stegano analysis, providing a high quality of visual perception of the stegano message, or the absence of artifacts as a result of the additional information embedded. We have recently developed a method for selection a container from a finite set of digital images for a given secret message that provides for given additional information the maximum possible or close to the maximum possible resistance of the generated stegano message to disturbances. The method is based on the analysis of disturbances of low-rank approximation of the container matrix in the process in stegano transformation. Uses the concept of protected information. The effectiveness of the proposed method as a whole exceeds the analogous and remains high regardless of the stegano methods used for the embedding of additional information. However, the proposed method does not guarantee the selection of a container that provides the maximum possible resistance to disturbances of the generated stegano message. In Lviv, the task of increasing the stegano system resistance to embedded message attacks without final solution. This task remains relevant to improving the efficiency of the stegano system as a whole. Most modern stegano methods use the block approach, the main reasons for which are providing in this case a low computational complexity, the possibility of accelerating the process of abandoned decoding of the additional information by parallelization. Blocks within the same digital image have different properties. Stegano transformation of some of them can lead to artifacts, while others, after the additional information embedding with no visually differ in any way from the corresponding container blocks. Some of the blocks are as a result of an
maybe screen.
Still, okay, yeah. We still have slide number, number 2.
All right.
Number 2, yeah.
All this leads to the urgency of the task of selecting digital image blocks that are directly involved in the stegano transformation and which can provide with a greater degree in comparison with other blocks specific requirements for the generated stegano message. Such a task is considered as one of the variants of the container selection problem. The aim of the work is to increase the resistance of the stegano system to attacks against the embedded message by organizing the selection of blocks in the digital image container for the embedded the additional information that are relatively insensitive to disturbances. The results of stegano transformation of a digital container with matrix F can be formally represented as a set of disturbances of singular values and singular vectors. Singular vectors of a special form of F or of blocks of F. The singular values of matrix are insensitive to disturbances, but singular vectors can be insensitive or sensitive. It is shown at slide 2. 3, 4. This formed the basis of the method for selection of the least sensitive or closest to the least sensitive container for given secret messages, which is shown on slide 5. The method is the most effective among modern analogs. It's shown on slide 6, 7, and 8. Considering the high effectiveness of the method, let us consider the effectiveness of using or adaptation on the concept of additional information protected from disturbances in relation to the selection of blocks that are most resistant to attacks against an embedding message within the same container. As a result of the study conducted in the work, it was found. At first, the lower the capacity of the organized by hidden communication channel, the greater the resistance to attacks against the embedded message can be provided by selecting blocks with the largest amount of protected information compared with random selection. It makes sense to select blocks in a container for embedding additional information when the capacity of the Stegano channel is such that less than 50% of the total number of blocks involved in Stegano transformation. In this case, the block selection leads to a significant increase to correlation coefficient and C. Coefficient compared with a random selection of blocks up to ensure the absolute resistance of the Stegano message to attack. It's shown at slide 9. Second, for a given digital image, there is no fundamental possibility of unambiguously determining its blocks because the nature of the change in the protected information value, its absolute value will depend on the Stegano algorithm used in the generation of the Stegano message. It's shown at slide 11. It said, in the case of image, which has large areas with small difference in brightness values, the selection of blocks is inadvisable in practice. Slide 11. The conclusions of the work are shown on the slide 12. Thank you for attention.
Thank you for your presentation. Any questions, comments? If no questions, comments, let's move to the next presentation. Information security risk management in information systems based on the method of paired comparisons by Vera Titova, Yuri Klos, and Natalia Petyak. Please. Are presenters online?
Wait. No. Next.
Looks like presenters are not online, so we are moving to the next.
Next.
presentation number 19 in the table, methods of security evaluation of non-Markov facial networks against differential cryptanalysis by Alexey Yakimchuk, Sergey Yakovlev, and Evgen Dobronokhov. Yeah, please. Anybody from presenters? Looks like this presentation is also missing online. Next one, quantum round key recovery attack on extended generalized facial network by Bogdan Dihas and Andrei Pesenko. Please go ahead. Sounds like this presentation is also not online. Next presentation is number 22, methods of security evaluation of non-Markov facial networks against differential cryptanalysis. It's the same. Looks like it's the same as number 19, the same presentation. Yeah. Probably it's not online. Number 23, a generalization of the Hill cipher by Oleg Gutik, Olga Popodyuk, and Markian Sulim.
Можно позвонить. Да, ну, пытаемся отключать. Сейчас будет.
No, it doesn't. It's because I have a problem with my so. Скажу? Не піде, так? Окей. Це перефайл. So, our report will be devoted to following very old, first mathematical cipher, Hill cipher. And what is a Hill cipher? It's very, very simple. In the we can see the alphabet with Q elements, and we can see the ring ZQ, yeah, model ring, and if we consider the matrix, we consider any invertible matrix of the range n multiply n, and divide our text in n piece, yeah, plain text and piece. Then we get coding, following coding. We consider only a circular matrix. What is circular matrix? Matrix generates some elements, and but we generalize this cipher in the following way. We consider usual permutation of the alphabet. And first of all, we act by matrix, coding matrix. Then we act permutation from the ring FQ to FQ, and the next step will be we act by matrix and permutation in next step, and so on. Then we get the following. So here we have a circular matrix, and all the encryption algorithm is presented here, and description algorithm is here. The last, the 5 line is encryption methods, and description is the following, where k invertible is is inverse matrix to k, yeah? And what is about this this description, this coding? So if we consider the general linear matrix, all general linear matrix of the range, and we get such many matrix, yeah, and when we get alphabet which contains 29 symbols, our the ring, for example, here will be ring F29. This matrix, there are more than, here is, we calculate this matrix, and all linear methods to detect this cipher or differential methods does it not work. Brute force is very, very long. This is all. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you for the presentation. And any questions, comments? Okay, thank you. Let's move to the next one. Number 24. Analysis of modern methods for identifying anonymous users by Ivan Azarov, Volodymyr Shulga, Anna Korchenko, and Alexander Korchenko. Please go ahead.
Hi there. I'm Ivan Azarov, and my comments: Volodymyr Shulga, Anna Korchenko, Alexander Korchenko, Yulia Koklachova, and Ilya Azarov represent the next presentation to our observer. So, 1 minute. So, we can show my presentation, yes?
Yes, we can see it, yeah.
So, the theme of this presentation is analysis of modern methods for identifying anonymous users. Yeah, please. Okay, so in this paper we compare the actually methods. For example, it's IP databases, anonymous services, anonymous modes and incognito modes from browser, ability, storage, and edit information from browser storage, identify a popular browser extension, and detecting the active VPN connection on the client side by detecting anonymous mode of users. In this article, we choose the advantages and disadvantages by criteria of detection: quality, accuracy, speed, level of attack, prevention, integration, real-time detection, compliance with laws, for example, false positives and resource consumption of each method. And by of this abstract, we form an I think after compare these methods, I think it's a relevant scientific task. And we formed the purpose of this work is analysis of methods for identify anonymous users by the last criteria for forming optimal solutions for focused for protection critical infrastructure from cyber threats and government institutions and the others companies. So, first, using anonymous IP database to identify anonymous users. So, we can use pre-built free or commercial database for detection proxy, VPNs, connections, and hosting providers. We can be quickly identify the anonymous users, and we can marking this connection for the counteracting of cyber threat. The next slide, we can watch a free page, X4 Bnet of some. If the IT filters includes in this space, we can mark as users is anonymous, have anonymous connection. So the next, firewall is a free firewall for the Linux operation systems, and this firewall collect the information about of connections. It's connection of proxy or VPN connection, and this information can be used to IDS system for analyzing of traffic. So the next is a sign of systems. Some systems can be classified get information about users, about connection, and forming into the graphs. So the next, we can buy commercial online services from these services, commercial based. So the main idea is based computed to binary. It's a very fast search of anonymity connection from this base. The next, commercial services provide APIs for quickly get information about connections by IP and others behavior of on the client side. So the second, identification of anonymous services on the user side. So I think it's very important method because anonymous users will be used different protocols for a mask a real IP address, and it's very important. These users can be used virtual private networks, proxy servers, RDP connections, and VNC for hide the behavior and hide real connection. These users can be create higher of risks on our infrastructure. But for minimize these risks, we can scanning these services by ports, because every service have different reserved ports, and we can watch on the slide. So on this slide we can watch how we can scan the different ports for get the version and type of services. If we use, for example, curl and map or port swagger and other instruments. So the next, we can use a API system for catch packets and analysis from the service to another site. We can be sending the package and show what traffic or have this package. The next, definition of active anonymous incognito and guest modes in browsers. So many browsers have guest and incognito modes, and so it's very not difficulty and not more difference. Why? Because each of modes, for example, guest mode, we can create a new different profile. It's a guest profile with a storage of cookies, storage the forms, information and permissions. But this most is isolated, and after restarts your browser, your information will be deleted. And if you use anonymous mode, for example, it's a mode based on the default mode. But the information of last users can be storage, for example, for entries. If this user enters this information in this mode, it can be used. But if we use in this mode forms or cookies or history and others criteria, we cannot show in the normal user. Different users can be checked flags do not track for different sites, and the sites do not track marketing information or additional information, but save the main information into the storage. So, and the next slide we can watch how sites can be used your web APIs to verify information from storage for detecting anonymous or guest mode. In the next slide we can watch how we can use a three-part cookies for different guest mode and anonymous mode. Because in anonymous mode this doesn't work, and in guest mode this option is work.
You have 2 minutes left, please speed up.
Okay, so we can use libraries, JavaScript, we can use online services for detection incognito modes. And the next is determining the capability of storing information in browser storage. So on the default in your browser storage have cookies, local storage and session storage, and these storages can be saved different information. But if this functionality was been disabled, we can show its user save anonymous mode, because we don't create unique IDs for these clients, for example. And this slide we can watch how we can use, for example, for detect enabling or disabling of this storage. the next, detection of popular anonymous extension. So it's very important because each extension can be modify the behavior on the HTML on the site page, or check we can change the VPN or disable the part from this browser, and we can detect how. The next is detection of existing VPN connection on the user side. It's analysis of list of IP DPI systems used. Used leakage from the WebRTC protocol, and using DNS query request and responses, and mismatch of time zone. On this slide, we can show how we can detect a VPN connection by use of this method. So, for these methods, we created the next criteria: quality, accuracy, speed, level of conventional, integrational, real-time detection, compliance, false positives, and resource intensity. And we can create shortly words and implement the next of tables. We can stop for watch these tables, and we market every method by criteria on the level low, medium, or high. So
please wrap up, yeah.
Yes, summary. In this article, we observe different methods, and we compare these methods by the criteria of quality, accuracy, and other methods being represented, and we select the optimal methods for identification of users. It's active, anonymous, incognito, and west mode, and ability storage informational from browser, and active VPN connections. But fully potential quality, accuracy, and detection, we can be used combined methods. For example, both methods for increasing the anonymous user detection. So thanks for your attention. If you have the question, I can tell about you.
Yeah, please, any questions, comments? Okay, yeah, thank you. And next presentation is number 19 and 22, looks like the same as presented finally online. A method of security evaluation of non-Markov Krystal networks against differential cryptanalysis by Alexey Yakimchuk, Sergey Yakovlev, and Evgen Dobronogov. Please go ahead.
Good day. I'm trying to share my presentation. Do you see my presentation?
Yeah, we can see it. Go ahead.
So I'm very sorry, I only went out from lookout, so I tried to do it quickly. The problem of probable security against differential cryptanalysis was raised in 1993, and Newberg and Knudsen had solved it for the Feistel scheme, they have estimation of maximal differential probability for Feistel scheme, and is on the screen. It's bounded, upper bounded with p squared, where p is maximal differential probability of round transformation of Feistel scheme. And for now, this bound is the only known and best known theoretical bound for Feistel schemes. But later, Lyon-Kelliher adopted some evaluation algorithm, firstly developed for SP networks, to the Camellia cipher, and he showed that this theoretical bound may be improved and greatly improved. In this work, we propose analogous algorithm for Feistel schemes with round transformation of form of SP networks, and our algorithm is simpler than Kelliher's algorithm, and it is applicable to non-Markov ciphers, and it's a great advantage. So we consider Feistel scheme of form as it's shown on screen. Round transformation consists of two layers, linear layer and S boxes, and we consider S boxes as keyed S boxes, so we do not need to separate nonlinear transformations and key additions. We combine them into common setting. And our algorithm, like Kelliher algorithm, is based on the concept of pattern. We consider active and non-active as boxes and define them as patterns with zeros and ones. So we can consider only vectors of length 8, 16, not 128, and so on. And the main goal of algorithm is to evaluate so-called upper bound matrix UB, which bounds from above every differential probability for given templates, given patterns of differentials. For this evaluation, we need some auxiliary tools, which are set on screen. It's transition matrix, which calculates how many inputs will transform input template to output template on linear layer. We consider XOR matching of patterns and so-called L matching, which combines a linear layer and XOR matching on Feistel scheme. These sets and relations can be effectively evaluated. For transition matrix, it will be shown further. And XOR matching and L matching very easy to calculate. The main result is on the screen. It's recurrence formulas. Somehow. For two-round Feistel scheme, this upper bound comes directly from definition of differential of cipher, and for number of rounds 3, 4, and so on, it is evaluated by induction with given recurrence formulas. There are separate cases from where part of differential is 0 and part of differential is non-zero, and we have some bound from a lesser number of rounds, and we have evaluation over the matching of patterns from left and right side of Feistel scheme. So it's formula tricky and sophisticated, but it's the idea is very simple beneath the graph. So these UBR can be calculated very efficiently. For the transition matrix, Kelleher consider only matrix of small sizes, so he calculated with brute force. He consider every possible input and calculate its relation with input and output patterns. For biggest matrix, this conception cannot be applied because we do not have such computational resources. So we propose a method to calculate transition matrix with the ranks of its submatrix. So we consider linear layer as matrix function, and ranks of submatrix of this matrix gives us values of some auxiliary matrix W greater than, and by inclusion-exclusion principle we can get exact values, exact number of inputs which transform given input to given output in terms of patterns. So we applied this approach to the matrix of size 8 by 8, 16 by 16, and again it become achievable on our numbers. It's very efficient. To demonstrate the work of our estimations, we consider some model ciphers which are based on Feistel scheme with SPI-round networks, but they are non-Markov because we use the different operation of key addition, we use bitewise addition. We consider different boxes from different ciphers with different distributions of differential probabilities, and we consider different linear transformations with different branch numbers. So distribution of differential probabilities and branch numbers are two main parameters that characterized the security against differential cryptanalysis.
You have 2 minutes left, so please speed up.
I need only one. This one of example. We see the best SBOC we have, the SBOCs from STB cipher, and with different linear layers. Newberg-Knudsen estimation is pieced word is puncture in the middle of this diagram, and we see that for every cipher, after the 6th round, the estimation becomes much better. And we see, it's our hypothesis, we do not have proof, but we strongly believe that with number of rounds, the real upper bound for differential probabilities trends to value p powered branch number minus 1, as in the same bounds as for SPI networks. So that's all. Thanks for your attention. If you have any question.
Thank you. Any questions, comments? Thank you. If no questions, let's move to the next. It's number 29. Threat analysis metrics of cloud storage systems by Victoria Polu-Tsiganova. Please go ahead.
Polu-Tsiganova and Sergey Smirnov.
Yes, it's me. I'm ready.
Okay, go ahead.
Good evening, colleagues. I want to. Do you see the presentation?
Yes, yes, you can see it.
Our presentation concerns two problems. First problem is structure analysis of vulnerability and threats in cloud storage systems. We use HScan company report. In this report, was we have from this report statistics of vulnerabilities and information about statistics you see in last column of this table, and communication of vulnerabilities and threats you see in every string of this table. Matrix of this communication you see left in the slides, and from this matrix we built a co-analysis structure of structural tree, structural graphs, and local maps that presents the structure of this system. Structure characteristics you see in these slides, and second problem was devoted for the finding the probabilities that describes the threats. Probabilities on threats we find from the equation that builds from this graph. We have the probabilities of vulnerabilities in right side of this picture, and we want to find the probabilities of left side of this graph. And this equation we built from this picture. For example, first equation consists from four in accordance with this picture. And here we use the equation from right side of this picture. We find the equations from this picture, and next we want these equations find us the structure of this model, and we use criterion of entropy, because maximization of entropy we solve the problem of finding optimal means for this criterion. with the using of Nelder-Mead methods because gradient methods wasn't work good in this situation, but Nelder-Mead was resultive. And the result of this problem you see here. Then we transform this result from X to probabilities P. We have such probabilities in this picture, and we see that first for numbers about equal. This distribution is not uniform because we have last probability for last vulnerability and this probability is not large, but isn't zero. This probability
Please wrap up with your conclusions.
provide a statistical model for attack profile on the cloud storage system based on relationship between threats and vulnerabilities. A typical attack profile was calculated in which the entropy index is 4% lower than theoretical maximum. Theoretical maximum for uniform. Due to the presence of threats and rarely occur due to the low statistical frequency of exploration of relevant vulnerabilities. Thank you for the attention.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's move to the next presentation. It's number 34. Anomaly detection in cybersecurity systems, a comprehensive analysis and framework development by Petro Venhersky, Roman Karpyuk, and Mikhail Kropyva. Please go ahead.
Roman Karpyuk, please.
Presenters online.
Будет после. Я тебя выбрать буду. Коллеги, выключайте микрофон.
Looks like presenters are not online. Let's move to the next presentation in the list, number 26. Intelligent control and security system models, synthesis methodology for critical infrastructure objects by Sergey Yevseyev, Ruslan Hryshuk, Alexander Zakovorotny, Alexander Milov, Georgy Kuchuk, and Stanislav Milevsky. Please go ahead.
Yes, hello everyone. I would like to present a part of this big work. and it is about intelligent control and security system model synthesis methodology for critical infrastructure objects. Of course, we all know that this topic is really relevant in our today conditions, and we have to build some new methodologies to counter not only physical but cyber weapons and cyber threats. And we understand that this situation also complicated by the fact that critical infrastructure objects that function in a single information space and support a wide range of modern information technologies have a great threats from third party, from cyberspace and around anywhere, and we have not good results in it. The proposed methodology consists of some 5 main stages. I will short describe them. The first stage is classification of threats. The second is formation of models for modeling the behavior of security system agents. The third one, assessment of the ratio of threat to number of attackers and system elements of critical infrastructure facilities. The fourth one, evaluation of the integrated indicator of the current level of security in the multi-counter protection system. And the fifth, modification of mechanisms of security services in a multi-counter system of information protection. And here we used post-quantum algorithms to provide basic security services. The whole model looks like this, and I will describe it really short because I understand it. It can't be seen clearly, but in the paper it's described better. So this is a sequence of actions starting from classifications to model of cyber threats and social cyber physical systems, then emergent model for determining the synergy and hybridity of targeted attacks in critical infrastructure objects, and then general assessment and models of influence on critical infrastructure objects. The part of it and the part of the protocols was the proposed authentication method based on cryptic code constructions on modified elliptic curves, and other cryptic code constructions also were used in this big work. And the part of it also, and the first, the most important part, is identification of threats. And here we've developed the special software complex for it. You can see the link, and it helps to estimate the current level of security in object of critical infrastructure in several steps. The first step is this formation of expert assessment of threats. The second one, forming a correspondence matrix between information sources, resources and security services. The third one, formation of dependence between information resources and infrastructure levels. The fifth step, forming the dependence of threats and infrastructure elements. Sixth one, forming assessment of security of social cyber physical systems based on the analysis of previous steps. The step 7 is forming assessment of capabilities of the current information protection system, and then we are forming the integral protocol. Here we can see the overall view of the system. It's online service and it's available. You can get access to it and try how it goes. The overall integral indicator of the current level of security of object of critical infrastructure can be calculated in 2 ways, thanks to multi-level assessment. We can build additive and multiplicative and integral indicator, and this indicator shows us the current level of security in a critical infrastructure object. And as a conclusion, I want to say that this developed methodology is intended to prevent unauthorized interference in the regular modes of operation for critical infrastructure objects, and is used to forecast and prevent crisis situations in such objects, and as a result of use of cyber weapons or some other cases. And on the basis of developed methodology, the continuity of performance of main functions by intelligent control system of critical infrastructure object is ensured, and in the state it helps to build the better information security system of the state and to increase the level of the national security in Ukraine. Thank you for your attention. If there are questions, I will answer.
Thank you for your good presentation, and it was shorter than planned, so we saved some time. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We missed one presentation, number 25. It's effectiveness of machine learning algorithms to identify anomalies in financial transactions by Ivan Dyak, Yuri Lisovsky, and Yulia Enis. Please go ahead.
Yes. Can you see my presentation?
Yes, we can see it. If you make it full screen, yeah. Oh, super.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to talk about the effectiveness of machine learning algorithms to identify anomalies in financial transactions. My presentation will consist of 4 parts. The importance of the fraud prevention system, methods we have used to build and test the model, comparative analysis of the ANM, we have built support vector machine, logistic regression, and random forest models. And at the end, I'll draw conclusions. In the first part, I would like to show a statistic of cashless payments and transactions fraud in Ukraine. On the left chart, you can see the statistics of card payments among cashless transactions in 2021 and 2023, provided by the National Bank of Ukraine. There are 2 categories, payments by amount and payments by quantity. Card payments by amount were 61% in 2021 and 65% in 2023. On the right chart, you can see the average amount of a single transaction in retail, internet payments, and C2C transfers in Ukraine. On the next slide, there is a statistic of transaction fraud in Ukraine based on the National Bank of Ukraine as well. In 2023, losses of banks, merchants, different payment providers, etc. Were 833 million of Ukrainian hryvnias. Further, you can see on this slide the average amount of a single fraudulent transaction in 2021 and 2023. As you can see on the pie chart, 83% of payment card fraud were performed via the internet and 17% were performed by using physical devices. As we saw, to reduce money losses and handle more and more transaction data, it's important to build an efficient and universal fraud prevention systems. And nowadays, different machine learning algorithms are used to accomplish this task. Different systems are more or less efficient depending on the algorithm, the quality of the input data, the hyperparameters of the model, etc. And in this research, we proposed a machine learning model based on the artificial neural network with the use of the dropout technique. This technique will help to decrease the training time and prevent or at least reduce the model overfitting. So let's move to the description of the dataset before and after the pre-processing process. We have used a 30-day simulation dataset which has 10 features that describe a single transaction, and it consists of over 6 million records. And as you can see on the chart, the dataset contains 99.87% of genuine transactions and only 0.13% of fraudulent ones. So this dataset is strongly imbalanced. After investigating the dataset, cleaning it up, and feature engineering, we obtained a 2.7 million size dataset with 0.3% of fraudulent transactions and 9 features per record. As the model will be a binary classifier, we need to have at least 2 classes of data per records, and therefore we removed records with types that do not contain fraudulent transactions. Let's move to the artificial neural network structure. As you can see on this slide, the network consists of the input layer with 9 neurons, which is equal to the number of features, 2 hidden layers with the use of dropout technique on the first hidden layer, and the output layer. On this slide you can see the parameters we have chosen in the empirical way by testing several models with different parameters combinations and found the best ones for the selected data set. On the graph you can see the values of training and validation of the ANN model per epoch. Now I want to describe metrics that helped us to measure the efficiency of the model. On the slide you can see the confusion matrix. Here we have 4 types of values. TP stands for true positive. It's the type of values that the model predicted as positive, and they were positive in fact. TN means true negative, which is values that the model predicted as negative, and they were negative. The FP and FN are false positive and false negative values, or the first type and the second type errors, respectively. With the use of this confusion matrix, we can calculate the following 3 metrics: the precision, recall, and F-score, which is the harmonic mean of the previous 2 values. And to obtain the best model, we need to maximize these metrics. Now I'd like to show the results of the ANN model training. The calculated confusion matrix for the ANN is shown in the table on the right side of the slide, and based on these metrics we have calculated the precision, recall, and F-score. The learning time was about 20 minutes. Finally, I'd like to show the comparison of results of the ANN, support vector machine, logistic regression, and random forest. As you can see on the table, the proposed neural network yielded the best result in terms of efficiency, but worse result in terms of learning time. And now let's move to the conclusions. During our research, we selected and processed the synthetic dataset, built and trained the ANN, and obtained a highly efficient model. If we talk about future plans, we want to take a real dataset, retest the proposed model, and improve its performance and efficiency if it will be required. And thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Any questions, comments? Okay, thank you. Let's move to the next one. But
yes, please. Please. Yeah.
So, okay, next. Let's move to the next one. Presenters are online right now. Anomaly detection in cybersecurity systems, a comprehensive analysis and framework development by Petro Venhersky, Roman Karpyuk, and Mikhail Kropila. Please go ahead.
Ну, є проблеми зв'язку, тоді білоруський.
It looks like the problem is connection, because he was online, but now he disappeared. Yeah. Yuri Lisovsky, your presentation was done or not?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
It was 25.
Okay. So let's move to the next one, number 27. Dynamic user rights management in corporate system based on trust degrees by Vera Titova, Yuri Klotz, Natalia Petlyak, Vladimir Anikin, Victor Cheshun, and Mikola Stetsuk. Is anybody online?
Not on board. Vera Titova, missing.
Okay. Next one is number 28, integrating machine learning to collect data and improve forecasting.
No, the poster. This
It's poster. Okay. 29 was number 30. Training multi-layer neural networks using an optimizer based on the operator splitting technique by Ivan Katerinchuk, Sergei Sveleva, and Ivan Kuno. Anybody online from the list?
Poster.
Okay.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Sorry, colleagues, some electricity disruption.
Okay, so it's your presentation is anomaly detection in cyber security systems. Okay, a comprehensive analysis and framework development. Okay, please go ahead.
One moment. Please confirm that you can see my screen.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, thanks. So, our paper will discuss the approach to build some framework to detect anomaly in cybersecurity systems, but not for decrease or increase or improve some best practice for some tools like EDR or IDS, but the main reason we want to develop some approach how to utilize the alerts from different cybersecurity operations tools for reducing load to cybersecurity operations center or build more fast time to triage and time to closure response for one event. And that is the main reason why we should do some manipulation with security systems. So we try to use some ML, some machine learning models based on different algorithms and test our correlation searches according to different source types. For testing we use data from, from IDS, EDR and authorization activity like brute force, to detect brute force. From this screen you can see that we choose for testing purpose, we test on real data. For testing purpose we use for different algorithms. It's a density function, random forest classifier, a logic regression and decision tree classifier. And names TP, FP, TN, FN, it's true positive, false positive, true negative and false negative. Yeah. And as you can see in the screen, we have such results that density function have the best detection, is the best detection algorithm. Of course, we calculate the accuracy, true positive rates, specificity, F1 score, and ROAC to show that the density functions is really the best choice for building some anomaly detection for cybersecurity. And if we speak about ROC UAC, so you can see that in most scenario ROC is biggest for density function. So what is density function? Density function is a probability algorithm for anomaly detection using machine learning approach. They can be like exponential or Gaussian or beta and normal distribution. It is the main reason why anomaly detection is so comfortable for anomaly detection. We try to do classification for most model which we can to use in our approach to build some strong classification how to use each of algorithms. For building some anomaly detection and some approach for anomaly detection, we try to cover such cybersecurity domains, like try to detect anomaly file logins, brute force activity, processing ideas, events, or detection, kerberosting, or NTLM hash relay attack activity. So our framework have 6 main points. Of course, in details it contains more, but in general 6 points that we should do to build strong anomaly detection correlation rule in some system like security information and event management systems, or SIEM. First steps, it's prepare data set, and that our data set should be controlled by one main object. Second, analyze the data set and reduce noise. One of the main or one of the global problem from using machine learning, it's training from not from too noisy activity. Yeah, for example, if we try to find some brute force activity, we should in our IT environment, we should reduce noise from our systems that can generate a lot of failed logins because they work like that. For example, mail servers. In next part, in third steps, we should extract some useful features. What is useful features? Useful features, it's some additional attributes that can granulate our data. For example, we want to find anomaly in every day of week, or we should correlate anomaly from in day or in night. Yeah, because for example in day activity we have a lot of people in work, they produced a lot of different stuff, but in evening or in night everyone is sleeping, and a lot of data will be other. After we reduce noise and calculate our useful feature, we should generalize our data set according to finding object, what we should where we should find our anomaly, and adding useful features. And 5 steps, it's fitting algorithms which we should to use. In our example, it will be a density function because we choose that.
and use correct time slot. What means correct time slot? That our data set for training should cover as much time as we can in our powerful clustering. And why? Because in dynamic IT environment, we have some maintenance time, we have process like changing password for all companies and other stuff which can have some additional usage to our data. And the sixth step is applying pre-trained machine learning model to our data, but with some expected threshold. So if we use in a real example for hunting some malware anomalies is a real environment, we can see such correlation rules. Yep. And first line is calculating, it's our first step, yep, it's calculating, generalize our data set, and if you can see, we span our data set in 1 hour time slot, but calculate this data set in 180 days, but not using the last day, because in last day we should find our anomaly. Then in second step we try to reduce noise using some additional search which will exclude some malware signature which we know that it's not suspicious or it's some information level. In third step we calculate some additional useful features like day of week, hour of day, is weekend, it's what is part of day. And then in fourth step we one more time generalize our data according to useful features and exfiltrated noise. And fifth step is fitting data, yep, fitting density function into our model with name count malware infection by signature 1 hour with features. Then we build another search which will be use our model to find anomaly, and doing some other stuff to reproduce more clearly event for cybersecurity center analysts to investigate such activity. And in such case we will have two searches which can hunt some really not extraordinary malware activity.
You have 2 minutes left, please
yep.
take it.
It's end. Yep. And real result in real environment we have such activity. For example, if we speak about malware hunting, if we utilize only detection from EDR system, we will have for 24 hours our analyst will have 1 critical event, 8 critical event, 1 high, and 36 medium event, 2 investigation. After implementation our rules, we will see only 1 event to investigate. So performance of cybersecurity operation center will be reduced a lot, and this is the main reason why we invest some time and money to this activity. And another it used to say that machine learning in not every cases can be only one tools or one approach to find some anomalies in our systems. So if we used ML and risk-based approach and build a framework across this approach, it will give us more powerful tool to detect some anomalies. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation, Roman. Any questions, comments? Thank you. Let's move to the next one. It's number 35. Roman Misyuk, evaluation of effectiveness of data compression in encoding methods in cyber physical system. Yeah, let's go ahead. Yeah.
So I hope you can
we
hear
can
me.
see, yeah, slideshow and yeah,
Slideshow. Okay. So our investigation will be about evaluation of the effectiveness of data compression and coding method in a cyber physical system. And short outline will be like architecture of cyber physical system, implementation and testing this encoding, decoding method parameters for performance evaluation, performance evaluation and conclusion. So firstly, I would like to show architecture. So as a background of our investigation, I would like to mention that we are trying to somehow secure our data. That's not a private data. That's data about temperature, some lot of parameters about the underground pipelines, which we can take and push to our central server, and using this Internet of Things, I mean MQTT or another protocols, and through this path, we need to have some security and maybe to code our data that can be effectiveness to reuse data somehow, using this replacing data to another one, using data in bits when we can put it not in this way that we can have this charts here, and we can have some Boolean values which can reduce size of the sent data. The architecture includes, you can see here, sensors which can have some data and send to this other data collectors. After that, to the collected into the JSON files, and after that process it and save it to data storage database, and we are connected with this API to this database and can do some forecasting, how this pipeline works, and so on, to check how our pipeline functionality of that and so on. That's about the architecture, and we are checking how we can use channel form, LampleZiv, LampleZiv Wilch, and this Hoffman methods, and different variation of this method. This is mostly a classical one, yes, but that's easy to implement, and we shouldn't take so much time to have this decoding and decoding the data. In the next slide, I will show you more practical how we check it. But the purpose of using this method, that's we need to allow us to reduce the volume of transmitted data without losing information, and which minimize delays and increases transmission speed. Let's move on to this implementation. We have some data like this, but that's our algorithm with all of this, with all of the algorithms that we can see here. And on the Python languages, we have implemented some scripts to check how it is, how it works, and how we can compress our data and decompress. And this sequence diagram shows us that we, as a user or as a client, send data to one, and after that the same data to the second, and so on, with this algorithm, and receive like this decoded data. As an example of this coded and decoded data we can see here, and to check which one more can be effectiveness for us, we are proposing using this four parameters to check the efficiency, compressive data set, data size, compressive speed, and information capacity. Using this data, using these parameters, we have calculated for each of these coding algorithm data, and we can see here that the Gemini 1.5 algorithm has have poor performance for the given data, possibly due to the uniform distribution of character in JSON. These results show that the choice of algorithm depends on the nature of data. The compression of rate is lower for Gemini phone by not so much seconds, but LZ 78 and LZV have better compression due to the use of the dictionary. So each algorithm has some like specific, and we can use for some tasks like it's better to use one, but for another task better another one. And what we can see for our data sets, the best way to choose this channel on to code our data. And the like short conclusions that we can see here some results, and some of the algorithm has like poor performance, but it depends on the data set here. When we have some random data, we will see that higher performance will be seen for this LZ 77 or LZ 78, but for some not repetitive like data, we will see that another algorithm will be better to choose. And I guess that's all from my side. Thank you for your attention. That's like a small investigation, but we will have like a full implementation of the stuff in our system make further. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you for your presentation. Any questions, comments?
I have a question.
Please.
Okay. Why do you talk about cyber-physical systems? The presence of sensors is a common theme in information and measurement systems. It seems that the report is about them. What is the physical nature of your systems? Systems that you consume.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Thank you for your question. Firstly, we would like to emphasize that we will use that for in this system, and we will check like this investigation specified for this one. Yes, we during our implementation we see that we need to have some security and have some compression for our data, and in our investigation we need to specify that it will be implemented in this site in this system, and some part of this system I have shown in this architecture. But actually, yes, you're right. I will take it into account. Thank you.
Good, thank you.
Does it answer your question? Okay. Any questions, comments? Thank you. Let's move to the next presentation. It's number 33. Using color histograms to establish image similarity in the presence of distortions by Sergei Velhosh, Andrei Velhosh, and Yuri Furgala. Presenters online? Looks like they're offline. Next one is number 37, Security of Authentication in Smart Contracts by Vladislav Khvostenko, Sergei Yevseyev, Danilo Khvostenko, Tatiana Milevska, Vadim Stesenko, and Sergei Dunayev. Please make full screen so that we can see better the slides.
Yeah, hello, good evening, colleagues. So, I see my screen, yeah?
Okay, super, yeah.
Super, yeah. Today I want to present you our presentation about security of authentication in contracts. So, Ethereum is currently the leading platform for the running smart contracts, serving most the transaction, finance, DeFi application in NFT markets and other blockchain services. So, most of the famous protocols and services such as Uniswap, IEEE, MarketDAO, OpenSea use Ethereum as the main platform. Ethereum supports over 70% of the all decentralization financial applications, so making it central to the industry. So despite this, Ethereum does not have native support for authentication mechanism in smart contracts. Authentication is carried out the basic of the signature of transaction using private key without the possibility of checking the user's account. So loss or damage of the key may lead to loss of control over smart contract. So, and this slide you may see the comprehensive characteristic of the methods of formatting in smart contracts. So, summarizing the comprehension of contracts formation methods, we know that complete Turing is suitable for complex smart contracts with a lot of business logic, but requires more development time and costs more resources. Incomplete Turing is ideal for simple contracts where complex logic is not required, but speed and cost minimization are required. Template method, so optimal for rapid development of standard solutions such as token insurance of or NFT, so with minimal risk and cost. The purpose of the article is to state the problems they may potentially arise the formation of the practice of entering into smart contracts, in particular the identification of the party to the contract. To argue the goal, the following tasks are set to carry out an analysis of the construction of smart contracts, an analysis of security mechanisms, and to investigate approaches on to ensuring authentication. So, relevant statements and the problem. So, here you may see words which we have checked here, so there's some problem. So, on this slide you may see some smart contract algorithm, how it works. One of the solutions to the lack of the built authentication mechanism can be use of multi-signature or centralized or decentralized key management system. In the blockchain, so transactions are pseudo-anonymous. So each user is identified by a public address, which creates challenges in the area of the real indefinite verification, so especially for legacy significant transactions. So in this case, the solution may be to use the transaction identified DID mechanism, which allows user to maintain control over the indefinite and provide verified information in the transaction environment. An important issue is the security of authentication, because then a user interacts this contract, so the transaction and the public key can be publicly visible in the blockchain. This compromises privacy and can allow criminals to identify the practicals to the transaction. Therefore, it's advised to use technology to ensure confidentiality, such as zero acknowledge proofs, which allows to verify and authenticate other aspects without relevanting the information itself. Smart contracts do not have built mechanisms to integrate this transitional authentication methods such as authentication, two-factor authorization, or biometric system often used in the transaction system. On this slide, so you may see authentication problem in smart contracts and their possible solution. So on the top we have problem, and in the bottom we propose some solution. In conclusion, the implementation of reliability user authentication mechanism in smart contracts with allow to ensure to the security of the transaction risk to solve access in authorized user to prevent fraudulent action such as imprehension or improper use of the people's accounts to improve the mechanism of the heresy of the access to various functions of the contract. Authentication mechanism can help protect smart contracts from a number of attacks such as man the middle or from restrict is all transactions. So reliable authentication allows to effectively track user activity in the smart contract. This specification audit and allow the identification of each transaction on action by specific user, increase transfer and control capabilities. Thank you for your attention. If you have some questions, so I will answer.
Thank you. Yeah. Anyone questions, comments on the presentation? Thank you. This was the last presentation in our list, but among those who are online, is anybody whose presentation we missed? So nobody. Okay, let's conclude in that case. So we had over 30 presentations of high quality and very interesting, and we have interesting questions, and so we can conclude that this our track was successful, and let's see you on the next conference on the same topic. Yeah. Thank you everybody for participation.
Okay, thank you for your time.
For your reports, for your time, for your attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.